I'm Genevieve Bargello.
I'm Eileen Worst.
And this is CFB News.
Hi, everybody. I'm over here at the new Smith's Distillery, Terrace House, Christian Farm, Absinthe and Lavender Farm. Eileen Worst of CFB News, here to test out their newest sympathisms. Absinthe. Sympathisms.
Absinthe, Eileen.
Yes. Present. So I'm over here drinking their newest pumpkins. Absinthe.
Eileen's on the scene at the new Smythe Distillery, Tap House, Tavern, Christmas Tree Farm Absinthe, and Lavender Farm to test out their new pumpkin spice absinthe. Is that right?
Indeed, yes. This will be my first drink on camera today. And so it smells, how would I, here, if I, it smells, pumpkin.
I think she said it smells like pumpkin.
It doesn't, I will, Bob, I think we need to step off to the side from the Smythes. Okay. Hi, everybody. Breaking news. I don't think there's any pumpkin in this. I have chewed it thoroughly, put it back in the cup, drank it again, all in one go.
Okay.
I'm not tasting any pumpkin. However, I cannot feel my lips anymore. And I'm seeing some really weird things. I know that there's the weird woodland forest behind me. Okay, am I crazy or is that taxidermy?
I believe it's taxidermy, Eileen.
Oh, good. I thought it was happening again.
Well,
it's a delight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, yeah. You can go down to the Smythe Distillery Tap House Tavern Bar and Christmas Lavender Tree Farm Absinthe and go and see all the sights like the Big Taxidermy Mountain and try out their new autumnal pumpkin spice absinthe. I'm actually straight edge, so I won't be making the trip, but some of you might.
Loser.
Did you call me a loser?
You said it, not me. Thank you.
This has been CFB News.
News. Oh, I'm going to throw up. Okay, everybody. Time to get a little courageous. Hope you can find a spine, because we're gonna crack open some books that we checked out at the library. Because, come on, bitches, let's go to the library. We're gonna make the Clatfartburg Library. This is Now Entering Clatfartburg. We're a comedy world-building podcast about this fictional town called Clatfartburg, and it's about time they got read to filth. I'm Elaine.
And I'm Felicia.
And we're excited because we both have worked at the library before, and we're proponents of your local library. Go get a card.
I have almost, within about 2 months from now, will have a full master's degree in library science. So this is my
into it.
Fucking world. Do I work in public libraries? No, I work corporate because I'm a fucking sellout.
I worked part-time at a library. After my world fell apart for a little bit. It's fine.
I mean, pretty much same. That was also my origin at the library. So
isn't that great?
The place, the refuge.
We all find ourselves at the library at some point.
Yeah.
One way or another. And we thought this episode was recommended, actually, by a citizen of Clatfartburg on our Buy Me a Coffee. We have a member named John, and they said, thank you to comedic geniuses for finally telling Clatfartburg's story. I'm still catching up on the backlog, but I'd love to hear about Clatfartburg's libraries. And we were like, say less, John. Say less. We're on it. We love this shit. I think we were talking about this before recording. We are not disparaging the public library.
Right. This will not be a botanical garden situation. This will be.
We're very pro library, and hopefully across the board you are near a good library. I know sometimes that doesn't happen, but libraries tend to be like good safe spaces. That's been my experience throughout the state.
Yes. I did have a thought. if we want to make somewhere that's fucked up, we want to make somewhere that's a little fucked and not really beholden to also functioning as a good library system. If we want to make a library system that is uncomfortable or hostile to access and those sorts of things, there's the concept of the special library. Are you familiar?
No,
so a special library is a library for like a specific institution. Did I have to write a paper on this like 3 weeks ago? Yes, I did. So special libraries are, they're normally for a company or for like a very specific purpose. So like, you know, your town might have a special library of like history of records that you can go to and just go through like records histories, or like there's actually a botanical gardens near me that has a library that is only focused on botanical gardens related items. Do you know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
So just extremely specific and for like specific groups of people. And same with archives. Archives are kind of adjacent to that. I still think public libraries are the way to go, but I just wanted to mention that those exist. I mean, that could be something to weave in the future, but
yeah, I think I could see that playing in a bit, because we might have people working multiple departments. Are those like private libraries as well sometimes? Like I could see that being
they could
contentious.
Be. Yeah. I mean, we could also have like a special collection that's really fucking weird. I mean, that's options.
Because the shit libraries have with archives is sometimes wild. You're like, whoa, okay. Like they have every single old map of the original place, obviously. Yeah. The Clatfartburg Public Library archives are pretty full of wealth. I'm assuming this is the one that's like downtown and has...
Yeah, this is like the big one. Yeah. This is like the city libraries, which I'm having to adjust from my local public library expectations to a city library, which is a whole nother fucking ballgame. Those places are crazy. So that's kind of, you know, like one of those buildings that you go in and you're like, am I allowed to check stuff out here? It feels like I'm not supposed
it's like
to.
Weirdly too...
feels like you're in a museum.
Yeah. I want this also because I think this is also just going to be part of us being spokespeople for libraries. A lot of us are used to libraries where you just had to be dead silent. You know, you couldn't do anything.
Yes.
But libraries have really become more community centers. Again, it'll depend on your specific branch. But a lot of it's like you are allowed to talk. Just don't be like screaming, I guess. Right. But like, you know, there's a lot of cool things to do. And we're going to, I think this Clatfartburg Library has a lot of fun events they're able to host. I think that they are well funded, be that good or bad, and not necessarily they do bad things, but goofy choices. They make choices. Choices. And it's funny because this is our first federal building we're making in Clatfartburg.
Elaine, summer reading
program.
That's what we need to focus on. Summer reading, because summer reading is always a little fucked. Like it's always batshit. Like because it's got the most inscrutable theme, and every library goes different. I've been on a, you know, I feel like they've gotten a lot chiller than they used to be. I feel like they were insane when I was a kid, but maybe that's just like perception.
Maybe. I mean, I had a map and I got to cross it off, and each week I got like a coupon to go get like free ice cream at like a mini golf place, and then I could get like a slice of pizza somewhere. But it was like pretty, I guess, tame within it. It felt like doing the McDonald's Monopoly game when that was happening. Yeah. Like it had that vibe to it.
I also grew up in the era of the Pizza Hut summer reading, where if you read a certain amount of books, you could get free Pizza Hut.
Oh, wow.
That was not library affiliated. That's just a Pizza Hut thing, and I did do it every summer. There was also the Barnes & Noble one where you get free books if you did that. Also did that one. Wow. But my local library when I was a kid was a very small library, but they basically had like an arcade system where as you did books on your summer reading, you could like exchange those points for prizes. Now these prizes were like I think if I went to them now, I'd be like, this is a sticker. Like it was not exciting stuff, but as a child being like, oh my God, I'm about to exchange this for 25 cents to put in, because this was the big one. They had a gumball machine, like one of those type of like a gotcha machine with like different little prizes and the little things. And you would get a token to go and do it. And then you would get like a teeny dinosaur. It was so fucking
That's pretty
great.
Fun. It's about the experience
was fucking
of it,
great.
You know? Yeah, that actually sounds amazing.
And I feel like 90% of summer readings are ocean themed. Is that just me, or is that I feel like
I don't think you're wrong with that. I think that's just I think we just fall into our classic, you know, you're either in the water,
you're either reading, or you're a caterpillar,
space, or you're a pirate. You know, like that's just kind of how it goes.
My experience was water or caterpillar, so I don't know.
Water or caterpillar. I was thinking it would make sense for Clatfartburg Library to really lean into Crispy branding. I
was thinking
doesn't need to be the summer reading program. That's exactly what he's doing. Wouldn't it be wild if Crispy the Talking Bass was driving in a Corvette across the Midwest?
So it's like a Route 66. Like, go take a road trip across America, summer reading with your friend Crispy the Talking Bass.
Yeah, and you start by this well in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, God.
And then you drive across Route 66 and you end up in Clatfartburg.
Who knew the way we ended up in Clatfartburg was via the summer reading program?
They
watched us on Google Maps or something by drone. That's a deep cut, I guess, at this point, which is frightening.
Whoa.
Because that never even, I don't even think the part that we're referencing ever played on this podcast.
No,
so
that was on
context,
a different
go
one.
back to the finale of our previous podcast, Wonka Watch, because I love to live in a fantasy where there's some of you who have never listened to Wonka Watch.
That would be, like,
I don't think that exists, but, you know, if you do exist, welcome.
It's wild.
We're happy to have you here, and we're trying not to make it a hostile place for you.
Yes.
I like Crispy the Talking Bass driving a red Corvette across America as this summer reading.
Yeah.
I think he's had a jungle trek. He's had a Crispy goes from freshwater to the ocean one time. Crispy
Salt
in
life
the Arctic.
summer.
Yeah. Oh, beach theme. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Arctic
Adventure.
Crispy's Constellations, the space-themed one.
Whoa. Yeah. That's good.
Crispy loves Connecticut. They just had a Connecticut-themed summer. And then Crispy loves kinetic energy, the engineering-themed summer.
Crispy in King Arthur's Court.
Oh, I really like that. Don't tease me with that. That's really good. Because I just pictured a little Crispy mascot. Because we've never considered like a Crispy mascot suit, which must exist.
Yeah.
Dressing up. A Crispy the Talking Bass. Oh my God, he has to do story times.
A Crispy in King Arthur's Court is this week's story theme.
Yeah, a Crispy in King Arthur's Court is really good. But I think we have to stick with a Crispy Cross America.
Yeah, we're doing the summer reading program for now. A Crispy in King Arthur's Court.
And to get a big prize, not a big prize, to get like the sticker. Like it's like maybe it's a patch or something, you know.
Yeah.
You have to read a book that has something from each of the 50 states. Which I'm like, that's not
really
not bad. I think that's pretty good.
That's a really good idea.
Thank you.
And they can they'll be pretty lenient.
There's a problem.
If you can go, like,
we're both in this, so like the ideas we're coming up with, they're like, oh yeah, that's good.
It's like we should actually like email our local libraries.
That's actually a good one, guys.
It's like really fun.
I remember one summer reading program my place did. I just had little cards I had to give out whenever they asked. I worked at the DVD desk, and I just had to give them a card with an albatross on it. I don't know what the fuck that was for, but I just had to be like, here you go, animal fact. Have a good day.
Whoa.
So that was my job.
Because this could be fun, because like you got the kids summer reading program and then you have the adult summer reading program.
Oh yeah. So
they can be the same theme, but maybe the adults have to go through a couple extra hoops. And this is a big thing. You get patches at the end of these things, and people will have like
it's
collection
like
or pens or whatever. Like this is like the collector's items of like a summer reading of 03, you know, like that was the Crispy plays Settlers of Catan, you know, and it was just media based on board games. But I feel like I could see the people who are really involved in it really enjoy, like, you know,
the challenge.
The library has good merch. They're one of the few institutions that has good merch, and people are most likely to accept Crispy merch from them to be more acceptable, because we do have an ongoing theme, I want to remind, in Clatfartburg where no one agrees on the merch, and the billboard is about as close as it gets to everyone being like, that's our Crispy, and then anytime Crispy Fest happens or something, they're like, that's not it, stop doing it, like that's our Crispy.
Okay, exact example. You know how Disney World, now you're gonna need to have a knowledge of Disney World for this, and I'm realizing this is not as good of an example as I think it is. At Disney World they have Figment, all right? They have Figment for Disney World, and they use him as the mascot for each of the different festivals, but they've been getting funky with the art style recently, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. That's kind of exactly how Crispy functions. He has nominally nothing to do with whatever they're advertising. He's just a functional mascot in the same way that any mascot is. So I guess that really wasn't that worth it of an anecdote, but You get the
No,
point.
I think it's fair. I mean, it's like, do people of Clatfartburg know what a bass actually looks like?
No.
Exactly.
Well, because, I mean, to be fair, the thing I used on the billboard to make the fan art, the thumbnail, it's not fan art. You made it yourself. It's just art. Is highly edited. It is a highly edited painting of a bass. He's got some fins on the bottom I chopped off. Sorry, buddy. And I changed the whole way his face looks. So not that much, but enough.
It's just, it would be like if you'd only known Tony the tiger, and then they were like, you kind of, what a tiger is, but like...
Yeah, because like, it's not like this town has a high bass population. It's just like...
And tiger was a dumb example. Fish, a lot of people don't know their basic fishes from a part.
No.
Fish be fish. Fish,
yeah.
swim fish.
There's been some drawings of Crispy that looks like a tuna. They don't care if it actually looks like a bass. It does it look like Crispy. That's the difference,
That's the whole thing. And... I see that being very, I'm sure they've done an exhibit pop up about like the history of Crispy designs, and that's where the Sunday Cartoon Funnies comes in, because he's believed to be originated from a Sunday's Cartoon Funny, and then like going through like newspaper clippings and like publications and like some other things that people have written about Clatfartburg, and just seeing how like the image of Crispy has changed over time.
Right. No, I like that. I like that. So I feel like we need to, now we know the theme is Crispy Cross America, I feel like we need to think about some unique aspects of this public library. I feel like I love a public library with an overly done children's section.
Yes. They have an indoor slide. It's not like a huge indoor slide, but there is a slide that is inside.
A section that is overly themed, which is in the theming of our town. We love an overly themed thing, but overly themed in a way that makes it a little hard to get books. Like not awful, but a little annoying. Like I was thinking like a cave and you're finding them by flashlight, or
that's good.
Or like and like in the corner they have little puppets that you can pick up of like different animals that would live in caves. I love when there's puppets available.
Oh yeah.
When you just go in and then there's just a wall of puppets and it's like, and you can do with that what you want while you're here. Or like,
I do love an interactive element.
Like it's like a little play place, because this is meant to be a community space. It's not just shut up, get your books and leave. This is like a place to hang.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. But they try to integrate it within the library a little bit, but it's just a little annoying. Or like there's like a forest section that's also overly themed, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a secret compartment that like if you open up this tree trunk, you can find all the books on ovens. That doesn't make sense.
All the books on ovens. This is the Keebler Elf section, everybody.
This is the Keebler Elf section. All the books on ovens.
But yeah, no, they like it's going to be specific. So this, okay, I could see this falling if it's like part of not even like the summer reading challenge, but there's little things like, oh, just do this little activity today and you'll get a little sticker on your paper and you check out the book you wanted, right? So it's like, can you find the book on ovens? And here's your hint, and you follow the clues on like the little like trail kind of vibe. I think that's really fun and cute. And then it would be then funny though, because it's a little bit of a hindrance if you're like,
okay, but I did need the book on ovens.
Hey, I need to figure out how to fix my kohler over here. I don't know how to do it. Do you know where I'd find it? Well, you're gonna first have to go to the tree and find the owl puppet who might help you. And then once you talk to our little friend there, you'll get your next clue. And they're like, can I just get like that Dewey Decimal something? Can I? I'm a grown man. I don't know if I'm allowed to go up and climb that tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't. You don't worry, a little thing. Readings for all ages.
Yes. I do think they also, for the Crispy Cross America, maybe they introduced those little pedal cars like I brought up last episode. For children to go and like move books around and stuff like that, or maybe like they changed the holds cart to look like little cars or something like that, but it is like a little annoying, I
just imagine like, okay, the children's section, okay, hear me out, this is crazy what I'm thinking. I'm imagining like maybe this is a 2-floor institution. It's not a huge building, but it could easily have 2 floors to accommodate the height we're talking about, or at least it has tall ceilings, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's not huge. I'm not talking like a gigantic gala space, but if we have an indoor slide and some fun things, cool. Okay. It's cozy. It's still cozy. We're not in like a weird open floor space plan kind of fun. The children's section's like its own, like, it's not a gymnasium, but it's definitely 100% like it's got a very big open floor center option for these changing things. So not fully bumper cars with children and books, but they have their own motorway right now in the middle. Like, and so it's kind of got some roads set up, like you said, and you can like get up and stop at some points. There are a lot of traffic jams.
Yeah.
And they do have somebody who is acting as the local library police traffic cop who is going around.
Yeah.
Now, what do we got over here?
I think they really lean into the crispy shit, and I almost want this to be shot down because I don't know if I like it. Maybe they got hoisted on them. They didn't even apply for it, but they got forced into this experimental grant. Like, I mean, it's not a grant, but it's for an experimental reference program trying to get AI into libraries. And look, that's a very contentious issue that I don't love, I'll be honest, but they are trying to make a virtual, like, holographic assistant. And it is just a crispy. And it does not work well. It does not work well. But, like, they had higher powers telling them you have to put this crispy hologram in there to tell people where the bathrooms are.
What if we shift it to its own AI, Ask Crispy?
Yeah.
It's its own little AI machine himself. So maybe he's not like a hologram yet.
Yeah,
but you
I was
could
just trying to think.
have a conversation. You know, the thing where you can have a conversation with a character. They're trying to build an algorithm to create Crispy. And this is actually a big, like, contention. Like you said, like, this could be a thing in the community. People don't know how they feel about putting all of this AI Crispy out there. But there could be Crispy kiosks, and so a kid could go up and just start, like, you know, you could have a question about the town lore, and, like, Crispy will start learning his town lore, and then obviously, like...
And tell you what books to get, you know?
Yeah, and now who's training Crispy and what sources they choose is also very interesting, because we know that Herbert's Crispy is probably going to be a little different than probably the public museum's version of Crispy, even depending on each art department, you know, such and such forth, you know. So I think it could be really, I think that could be fun. And also, it's one of those things where, like, kids will just have fun regardless, and adults will have very strong opinions about it, which I think is exactly what you need.
And I think the Crispy kiosk right now, the way it stands, is one librarian just always has to stand by it and go, okay, so Crispy's still in a learning phase right now after everything that gets answered. You know what I mean? It's like, hi, I'm looking for books on dogs. And they're like, and he's like, that's crazy. How crazy you want that?
Crispy, can you break down the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, please?
Looking up books on cooking beef. And it's like, Crispy is working. Crispy's learning right now? Crispy's learning. He doesn't really get it. Because he's only trained on the library catalog, so he's not, like, he's not a broad AI.
He's not a, and again, they have a grant, but they don't have, like, a shit ton of funding to, you know, flesh him out as...
Yeah, nor a ton of really technical people. The technical guy comes in, like, once a month to go and help.
And also the pool of people they're, like, choosing from. Again, Clatfartburg, pretty niche. You know?
It's not a very tech-heavy town, you know?
No, which is why...
Except for in scenic design, and then it is creme de la creme.
Robotics is their bread and butter.
Animatronic.
Animatronics.
The animatronic capital of America is what Clatfartburg could be called.
I like this because then maybe the goal is one day to have the hologram, and people are like, that's too far, or they think that's crazy, and other people like, actually technology is coming.
Well, they're actually mad about it because it's not an animatronic. They don't care that it's like bringing Crispy to life. They're just like, why would it be a fucking animatronic in this town, our town of animatronics?
Yeah, they're like, this is stupid.
Topic jump. Can there be a diorama built into a wall that's like behind glass? Because I love that shit.
Oh, yeah. Is it like showing what Clatfartburg used to look like? And like,
I think maybe.
You know.
I think maybe some historical Clatfartburg stuff could be good.
1900s Clatfartburg farming. And they have like the tiny little figurines and then like a
maybe
little
they have another one that is like one of the Bartholomew Alexander heists. And but they made it because of the summer reading theme, Crispy on the crime beat.
Oh my god.
So they did a lot about Bartholomew Alexander and those sorts of things and mystery theme.
I just imagine the craziest thing is like, there's a diorama, there's a really big reveal. They're so excited. And they're like, okay, guys, so like, as we're wrapping up summer reading, we do have a new diorama we like, have available, and we're going to unrate it. But first we have a message from somebody who went on one of Crispy's adventures across America because they both got hungry and they needed to go to a diner. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Guy Fieri. I'm here. I'm so excited to talk about.
Okay, for the listener at home, Elaine took her glasses and put them on upside down for that, which I'm not sure. Does he have glasses that look like that, or did you just feel that was necessary?
He wears sunglasses sometimes, and that was the best interpretation I could suddenly have for sunglasses.
Yeah, turn them on upside down.
I just love the idea of the most, like, Guy Fieri seems impossible, but also very plausible to have as a shout out.
I understand,
you know what
that.
I mean?
Yeah, no, it is. I could see him doing a summer reading shout out. You know what I mean? It's like those posters that the American Library Association sells. It's just the most random celebrity in front of like a fucking picture day background holding a stack of books, and it just says read behind them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Do we think there's one celebrity they have way too many read posters of, all in different positions?
Okay. Yeah.
The answer is yes, but who is it?
Who is it? It's gotta be someone who's just like only famous from a TV show.
B-list, exactly. B-list. Right. My brain is going to Big Bang Theory cast members, but I don't want that to be the
immediately
answer.
did that too.
Yeah, I was picturing Sheldon.
Town. I was picturing Sheldon as well.
I guess it has to be that.
Okay, well, if we both
what the
went
fuck
there,
is his name? I know his first name is Jim, and I don't know the second part
Parsons?
of his name. Jim Parsons. Yes.
Parsons. Yes.
So like Jim Parsons glamour shoot, millions of different poses, every eighth wall,
and then they have an occasional got milk from him as well.
Yeah. But only Jim Parsons. And nobody really
Parsons.
knows how that happened, but now it's kind of like they can't really take it away, and people would be pissed if they did now, you know?
Yeah. It's the unspoken thing.
Like somebody posted on Reddit, like Jim Parsons number 24 was removed yesterday to make room for a new set of bathrooms. You know, and it's like, yeah.
Canned beans. For a child, they don't need canned beans.
Wait, what?
Green beans. I was thinking like baby food. Baby food has smudged number 13. That's right, the one where he's reading Under the Stars.
There's the Clatfartburg Public Library Parson Watch. That's just like really keeping on track to make sure, and it is run by the people from the museum that do the Big Bang Theory recap podcast.
On Halloween, sometimes they cut out a picture of Dolly Parton's wig. They put it on him, and they go, "Hey, it's Dolly Parsons."
Up. Oh, that's really good. They also just put a ghost, like a paper sheet over one.
A little Zorro mask.
Yeah, lots of different ones, and he's in so many different poses. You can put a little sword in his hand. There's so much fun stuff.
And then these kids growing up don't know that like Jim Parsons is a person. They just think it's like
that's the Clatfartburg Public Library guy. That's Crispy's friend Jim.
Yeah, Crispy's friend Jim. He's like the Steve to Blue's Clues.
That's what I was going to say. It's a very Steve Blue's Clues, and maybe he comes and visits at like the library's 25th anniversary, and it is like a local celebrity. He's like Blippy to these kids, you know?
I'm putting in a request that a future bonus episode is that Jim Parsons is coming to town, and the Big Bang Theory podcast and the Big Bang Theory recap of the Big Bang Theory podcast now has to reckon with this happening. And
Jim Parsons is coming. He's coming.
He's coming.
For the record, I know nothing about the man except he's in Big Bang Theory and the Muppet movies, so I don't know shit about him. But here you go. You're getting the spotlight today, Jim.
So funny. Wow.
I can't believe we were both thinking about him.
That's really... No, when I immediately imagine the sitting pose as well. He's like wearing a sweater. He's just kind of like, you know, subtly like looking off to the side, serious face, but there's a little book in his hands. But like, it was just very... Like, I saw it immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, any other show.
I know. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So that's fun. So the library has a lot of Jim Parsons themed things, as well as probably the best Crispy integration, I would say.
Yes.
Do we have a Crispy fountain? Do we think, because this is like museum like, do we have an indoor fountain? Can we please have an indoor fountain? Because I love indoor fountains.
Okay, we can have an indoor fountain.
We have an indoor fountain, guys, and he's like, it's Crispy spitting up some little water. How fun.
Cute. What like metal, stone, colorful. I imagine it's very colorful and fun. Like it's like a realistically not realistic. Doesn't like I feel like it takes it back to his talking bass origins of like that kind of goofy.
Yeah, like it's cartoony. A little bit.
That's
it's
like
fun.
Cartoony but lifelike.
It's like Crispy on top of a stack of books, and it's like this makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, it's
just
crazy,
kind of the loose
like...
word association that Clatfartburg lives in.
What I think the library cards should be fucking wild.
Oh yeah. Well, I think maybe they change based on the year's theme, because maybe they extend it out. So I think maybe because it's crispy crime, it looked like a mugshot. Like it was crispy in a mugshot, but with like your name, you know.
Wow, that's good. That's
crispy
good.
This summer, which is Crispy Cross America, it's Crispy's driver's license is your card.
That's good.
You know,
that's fun.
A Crispy in King Arthur's Court looked like a little scroll or an illuminated manuscript. That was the best one. And sometimes the librarians keep an old stack of the old ones in the back, and if you ask really nicely, you can get an outdated one if you want it. Or maybe they make people renew every year, and that's why. That's just the easier.
What they probably can do to make extra funding is if you really want an older one, like these are like when you sign up and stuff, or you need a new one, it's free whatever the design is this year. But if you want an older design, you just have to pay for it, because not everybody wants
the next year's design. Because this library does not charge late fees, because there's a lot of evidence that that's the better thing to do. So no late fees are being charged.
No late fees are needed.
But I do want to say, I know there's a lot of libraries that have been expanding their collections in unique ways. So, you know, some places you can check out board games. Some places, you know, you can check out like pots and pans, or like small appliances, or like, you know, museum passes, or like even like professional suits and stuff like that. And it's really cool. I feel like Clatfartburg's got a weird one that's not super utilized. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, my immediate thought was there's this one cabin.
That's a library operated Airbnb.
A library operated Airbnb. The wait list is incredibly long. Maybe like a campground. Yeah. It's like, this isn't like a creepy thing. Yeah. It just was immediately like a weird cabin.
Yeah, that's available for library rent, I guess.
You know,
maybe they handle prop rentals for community theater as well. That would make a lot of sense. That feels very Clatfartburg, like a lot of like theming elements, and that's the basement, and the basement's fucking weird.
And this would make so much sense, because nobody else has the storage aside from the museum, and even then they're getting a little full with stuff for like all of these different, like Hunch for Lunch, even like rotating out certain seasonal things. You know, It's like they don't have like, if they're just loaning things from the library, or they put things into the library system to be loaned out, so you can loan Hunch for Lunch animatronics, you know, depending on if it's allowed or something.
Here's how it works. Okay, here's what I think. I think a week rental is free. If you want it for months, then it's a cost, and that's how the library keeps afloat. Still affordable, but like, you know, if you want to go all out on your Halloween decor, still cheaper than buying anything new. If you want to rent all that shit out, but it does cost a fee, and I think that's reasonable. If you're renting a full animatronic for 3 months, I think they can charge you. You know what I mean? Because there's upkeep involved in that. They have to employ some of the animatronicers that apparently work here in this town.
Yeah, like that, and that stuff will have fees if it's late too. You know, like there's and you have to sign paperwork. I used to have to sign out a telescope, and there was a lot of paperwork that had to be done, and specific people had to go out to the car to watch this person strap it into the back seat of their car.
Yeah.
And that was just for a telescope. So
can you imagine when you have the animatronic of Sherlock Holmes you're trying to check out?
By Jove.
But it does mean that like that maybe this explains how all these events have such level of theming, because otherwise it is unsustainable. That like, okay, that is how this one day event gets really crazy. You know what I mean? And that's why everyone's standards are so high, because they're used to like their local like fall fest at the fucking like high school, having like fucking smoke in like the corner and like a full like, you know, a talking pumpkin animatronic when you walk. Just like levels of stuff that like just nobody has access to, so that when old places retire, they donate it to the library for a taxable discount.
Yeah. And I feel like whoever started it was one of the OG like people. I know I'm sure we've come up with some of the history before. We don't have to do it now, but just somebody was really passionate about it, that they specifically set that up within the library to be a space, and then
I think the basement warehouse is bigger than the library, and that's honestly, it has like a full separate staff. Like that is like really the heart of the operations, but it's not really a public place in the same way. This is the special library. This is the special collections. We figured it out. We've gotten on it.
School groups will occasionally get to do tours through it. They're like, get to know your library, and you can see all this stuff, and they're like, whoa. And then, you know, I'm sure that's one of those places you probably get creeped out at night. If you're me.
I think there's a few kids who come back and be like, I want to be a librarian, and learn that is only the job of this library, you know? I would love, though, if they're insistent on coding, on sorting, because this makes no fucking sense, on sorting the animatronics by Dewey Decimal System. Is that, like, no, it does not work.
You've got, like, one little smoke machine next to, like, a 10-foot glow-in-the-dark wiggly worm thing. Like,
yeah.
It just...
Not based on season. I like that even more because I honestly don't think the upstairs level even uses Dewey Decimal System. I think they use a more approachable and accessible library system than that. I don't think they do, but I think downstairs does. Or they use Library of Congress. I think Library of Congress is funnier because there's like 12 different domains and they're not using all of them. They're using like 2. And they're like, did you put the right subject headings on the giant talking skeleton?
I remember hearing about all the fun of choosing all of that.
Yeah.
Organization fun of the library, things some people never need to know, but Felicia will get to know all of it.
I know all of it.
You will be a master in it.
There's no will. I know all of it. I'm just writing the final papers. There's nothing for me to learn, man. So I learned Sparkle last week. I know shit.
Which is just fun because over here I'm like, Sparkle.
It's the silliest query language. So yeah, I think that's good. Do we want to think about like events and programs? Because I know book clubs. I feel like this place would take their book clubs very seriously.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to bring up that the book club that was on Herbert's River Tour does meet here as well. I think...
I want to note one thing. Some new libraries have been putting in auditoriums to support community events. I think this one has one. I'm going to say this one has one. And I thought of the idea, and you can veto this because this does feel a little bit like I'm playing into the things I love. Maybe there's a book club that at the end of every book club season, they produce a production of one of the books they read. It is made, and it's like a 36-hour thing. Like 2 days and it's up, you know. Yeah. Unauthorized adaptation of, you know, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Do they does the entire book club do it for the public, or do they it's still like open to the public but it's mostly the book club performing for each other?
I feel like it's that. Maybe there's some charity element, you know what I mean? So it's mostly like them roping in their family to go see it. It's not a, like, you know, as most community theater is, let's be real.
Yeah, I could see that being a quarterly thing. I think people could pull that off quarterly.
I was saying once a year, so you're upping it to quarterly. Yeah, no, I was not saying every week would be fucking crazy.
Gotcha.
It's quarterly or once a year. They pick a book and then they do it. So that's just a thought I had.
That's yeah. That can be like the, you know, the theater people's.
There's Clatfartburg history lectures, but it's between Herbert and the history guy at the Clatfartburg Public Museum, and they're like giving refuting talks, like this like extended debate back and forth.
And it's honestly hard to say who's actually correct and who isn't.
No, because like it's so arcane at this point, you know, when they're getting into the niche, and it's like I don't think either of you are winning at this point. Like, you know, when you're talking about like the nuances of a plumbing system of a company, like this is not, who is this for? It's not for us. But they're like, you know, there's a few people who are really invested in the saga, and it just won't stop. And they're like, God, I think I'm going to be fucking here every Tuesday, I guess, forever.
There's a slow burn romance happening right now in a Spanish class that they teach for free. I will not give them names. I'm going to resist. We already have a lot of story arcs. They're just in love,
we have a lot. Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
We have what do we think?
There is one coming up at my library where you can there's a lawyer who's there gonna help write your will. So
wow, I love that.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So we could have it. That could be like their Halloween theme is will.
Or will you or won't you? Memento mori.
It's like the rom-com thing. They're like, will they, won't they? And then they're like, hey.
That's their Valentine's Day.
That's a Valentine's Day thing. Like, it's part of the February month. They're like, will they, won't they? And it's like, hey, like, get your stuff in order. I want them to have a class on something that I feel like is so Clatfartburg specific. It would just be like, why? Or sometimes there's like a funny craft.
My library had this thing called Take and Makes, where you would make a craft that people could grab in a bag on their way out and then make it home.
Oh my God, that's
and
amazing.
We were all expected to like sign up and do one, and I was like, no way in fucking hell am I doing that.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I got put on the committee for like young adult crafts and young adult things because I was the only person who was a young adult on the staff. Wow. So they put me in, and then they were like, yeah, so you're eventually going to be responsible for a craft. And I was like, no, the fuck I'm not doing that, because you would have to then, because I would watch my coworkers go around being like, hi, does anybody have some old applesauce cups? I like really need them for this project. And I'm just like, I can't do this.
Oh, no, that's a lot. Okay, so random things came to my mind. I imagine painting someone's hand like it's beautiful fish scales.
Face paint? Like just...
But on the hands.
Okay.
So maybe it's fish scale painting. Fish fingers.
Oh!
But it's like this really talented artist, and you go through and then you get your like...
They did another one that was like a make your own crispy puppet, and people thought it was going to be like a paper bag puppet, and then they showed up and there was like foam and like the fucking shoe glue you need to put it together with like felt, and they were like, oh fuck. And it was like a 3-week workshop where you were making Muppet level quality Crispies, and I wish I could go. I think I've talked about before how I panic made a puppet right before I graduated. He's never been finished.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah,
he's made out of car sponges.
Interested me. What was his vibe?
He was a black dog with 3 eyes and a purple mouth.
Wow.
He was cute.
What a goof. What a
I should pull him out and finish him.
You should.
He smells weird. Because he smells like dollar store car sponge. And Yummy. He's 4 years old. So
wow, that would do it. They have a brutal trivia night. Brutal. If you want to actually be like tested in trivia, like there's some trivia nights you go to and you're having a beer and it's like, yeah, whatever. But if for the people who are like die hard, like training for Jeopardy, this is honestly one of the stops they recommend for those training for Jeopardy.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because that's a thing. They got the bronze medal on being like a good level 3.
And trust me, these events are fucking themed around the theme of the night, because they have this repository of decor.
Yeah.
And items,
everybody who's in the library is also usually somehow tangentially connected to the theater. It should be clear.
Oh, yeah. And like they have like a Western themed trivia night, and there's a full on like Western saloon facade. And they're like, where the fuck did you get that? And they're like, downstairs in the basement. Yeah. Got a lot of stuff down there.
It's very easy. Even the costumes. It's just the costumes. Oh, these were crafts last month.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's fully like 8 hour, But this town, it values that. I like that. I was going to say something. I don't remember what it was. I remember my library had a Library Olympics challenge where you had to do all these library-related things that I won when I was like 11. And I'll be honest, I think it is a significant part of the reason why I ended up going to Masters in Library Science School.
Really?
I really loved the fact. Like, it was not an active part of my decision. It was like, who can reorder these books in alphabetical order the quickest? And I'm not saying that, like, I didn't actively think that, but I do think it made me be like, I'm pretty fucking good at this.
I mean, how else would you casually be testing out that skill?
Exactly. I know, granted, I'd already volunteered in libraries for a while, but it felt good, and I got like a $50 TCBY gift card from it. So, just saying, I've got skills. But yeah, maybe there's something like that, but way more intense. But involves like get through the traffic pathway in the children's section. How would you categorize this spider web netting?
They treat it as they're training the new generation. It's not like this is the one thing where it's like this isn't so much a game as it is a quest. Uh-huh. And we're gonna see how well you do. It's really good for college apps.
Crispy quests. Side note, crispy quests.
There's. Hey, do you see that fish in the cloak in the corner? Go over, talk to him. They do. So, you're seeking a quest, huh?
And it is a crispy puppet from the thing, coming out of a tree trunk in the children's section with a cloak on. And this is year round. And they employ someone to do this. He has to sit behind the tree trunk all day. And as people go by, he goes, yes, look through the books. I'll be waiting when it's time for you to speak with me.
Oh, don't punch Crispy. Don't punch Crispy. Thank you. Oh, no, don't choke Crispy either. Don't do it. Get your hands off. Thank you. Yeah. I'm looking for a band of mercenaries to help me on a quest. There's some trolls in a cave nearby.
But I like that there's like a full cast of people. Like theater performers who are on hand to activate the Crispy quest. And it is well trafficked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's really embarrassing because as an adult, you do want to do it, but you don't know if you can ask for the Crispy Quest.
Yeah.
And the librarians are like, oh, no, please, we want you to do it because otherwise we're paying Kyle for nothing, you know?
Yeah. And then Kyle's like, great.
And then Kyle runs the whole Crispy Quest. So he's out here doing that. And then when he says, go and find the trolls in the second level mezzanine, he has to go take Crispy back, put a sign up and say, Crispy will be right back. He has to run.
Fishing.
Dash. Gone fishing. He dashes down.
Oh my God.
Down another corridor. And then he is a troll puppet. And he's like, hello. And he starts giving them riddles to find a book about rocks. And then when you're done, you get a patch. So
You get a patch, but they look cool as hell.
they're cool as fuck.
And a water bottle sometimes.
There's also 4 more stages for the record. It's not just the troll.
Oh, yeah. It keeps going, guys. Don't worry. There's like
Yeah.
a whole thing.
And you have to sign up for a time slot for the Crispy Quest so that Kyle's not overworked. So
there is actually whole LARPing workshops and discussions. I think the library, is maybe the most aware of the Clatfartburg. Mike, I cannot say the town's name today. Clatfartburg's culture. And how very much like Clatfartburg loves to lean
inches
into...
away from LARPing everyone is in a moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so people don't attend those as often because they're quote unquote boring. But I just think it's important to note that the library is also perhaps the only institution potentially in this town that is so self-aware.
They had to stop doing D&D nights because there was too many people.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is nothing like... I did once do a teen library D&D night, and I think it was a table of 25 people.
That's too many.
In a single campaign. It was too much.
I tried to do it with a group of 12 adults, and that was too many.
Yeah.
Though this town is very good at... I was going to say raising an army, but I didn't mean it like that.
Finding a group of people excited about a common cause.
Yes.
Clatfartburg is for the passionate. You know how Virginia's for lovers? Clatfartburg is for the passionate.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Clatfartburg is the culture.
Yeah. God, I wish I could go. God, I wish I were there.
I really wish I could go.
So many opportunities to make friends as an adult in this town. That's really what we're building here. And I want to do the Crispy Quest.
Right. I think something that'll help me just to round out this.
Yes.
Just some of the little like specifics of this place. We know how the library itself functions. Now the library's placed within town. Does the library have any enemies? Or does somebody hate the library?
Ooh. Well, I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about this, but I would like to hear if you do, because I can't think of any off the top of my head, but...
I was thinking, I mean, my natural instinct is I would like the museum and the library to get along well with each other, because to me that makes sense. They don't need to be enemies. However, we do know that the museum treats its interns very poorly.
Right.
The library emotionally treats everybody well. Pay is up to the government.
Right.
So, you know, we'll see what that's like. But I feel like the vibes are better at the library.
Yeah, I do think the library makes a lot of money because of their whole underground dealing. Not illegal, just literally underground dealing of animatronics, because it's literally under the ground. So I feel like they do probably have better incomes than most, you know?
Yeah.
I think they run an internship program that's not applicable to literally any other library ever.
Yes.
Like, it's great, but it's not applicable to anything. Like, truly.
Yeah, it mostly would just be a good, like, resume filler. You've now had experience, so now you can go get your entry-level job that requires no experience.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe there's I love the idea, because the museum interns are, like, working together to survive. And I think if the library interns are able to try to save them or something, I think that'd be hilarious. You know, there's just some kind of there. So, like, maybe the museum doesn't like the interns interacting with each other, but... And I think it was the art history guy sucks.
They all suck.
They all suck.
We still don't have names for them. There's a science woman, a history man, and an art man, I believe, was the breakdown.
Yeah.
I don't know the details on them. We don't need to know. We don't care.
No.
One day we'll figure it out, but it's not a priority. And at this point, I'm going on spite of never having named them, you know?
Yeah, for sure. To be clear, someone can finish the entire summer reading challenge only reading the Blanche Otter's mystery series.
Oh, yeah, because they did them in all 50 states.
Yeah, so it
Which
works.
is crazy. They're like, you know, the waterways across America give us a lot of access. God, I forgot about those like A to Z mystery books, you know, where they're in a different state, or like those fucking fairy books where there's like the microphone fairy, and it's like, we're running out, guys. We're running out at this point. Elaine the toaster fairy. What are we doing? You know.
Okay, so yeah, I think that they do very well during election years getting funding. I think it would be very controversial if something came up about the library and their funding was questioned, because I think it's just a given they'll get the money.
Yeah, like maybe one of the candidates, which the mayoral election, we will be doing episodes focused around that coming up. Maybe one of the candidates is questioning the need of the crispy quest because most people in town have done it at this point.
The animatronic rentals, how much should they be charging versus how much should just be, you know, like I think I could see there being gray area that could be argued.
Right. And it's like, does that person understand that keeping the animatronic rentals affordable is like the equivalent to like a small business starter program in Clatfartburg?
Yeah.
Like that's what keeps this town fucking afloat.
Yeah. So it could get very, very interesting there. But yeah, I think they're just a good institution overall, and people are pretty happy, and they have the best designs, honestly.
Yeah. Their tote bags are fucking great.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see what their booth is like at the Crispy Fest this next year.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
I'm thinking about used book sales, because there's always used book sales.
Yes!
What do we think about
Friends
these
of the
book
library?
Sales? Yes.
I was trying to think of like, what are the books that Clatfartburg is most likely to be like, yeah, no one's reading these, let's sell these.
What do we think? Because the sound is weirdly into STEM.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Are they like Shakespeare haters?
I don't know.
I don't think so. That doesn't make sense.
I think they all have very strong feelings about Shakespeare.
Yeah.
In a way that a lot of people might not. So I think Shakespeare probably then stays. We know that there is a boxcar children book club also at the Clatfartburg Community College.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because it's part of
Oh, yeah, because of that. I honestly think, I don't think it really matters. I'm just thinking of the spectacle of the used book sale. Like, maybe the used book sale has to tie into a theme as well. Like, this year, they combined the used book sale with the local car show because of the crispy. I think that what it is maybe this place is so dedicated to their theming because it is both an advertisement for their... they have to be, because it's an advertisement for the part of the library that nobody gets to see on the day-to-day. So they have to advertise these services and make them aware. So like when you enter in the lobby, there's like the animatronic showcase of the month, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Why is there just a cow mooing at me? And it's like, that used to be in the Cow Army exhibit, and you can read a whole history of where they used to be. You know what I mean?
Yes, I like it.
So I think this year, they combine it with a car show. So it's just like, check out all the old children's fiction books in the back seat of this Ferrari. Woo!
It's their opportunity to use the animatronics that never get used and tend to not fit with specific themes. It's that the library sale. They're like, okay, pull these guys out because we never get to use them. So it's like, and there he is, 6-foot Furby.
You're right.
Whee!
Yeah.
He's got spatulas for hands. We can't explain why. I hate it. I hate that. Cannot be the last image. And then everybody gets a fun sweatshirt. There we go. That's a
for sure. Let's try to think of one more fun image to go. Maybe they get a cardboard cutout of Jim Parsons for the event, and then put him by the door to point to things. You know that pose where he's like that?
Yes.
For the Big Bang Theory, where he's his like hands up, and they put an arrow in his hands like this way to the book sale. That's a fun side note. Anyway. Good. What's one final thing that we can think of?
They have free parking.
And I think they have costumes for kids, and sometimes the kids don't want to leave the costumes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just a little costume section to hang out and play around in. And maybe a fake kitchen just for fun. just like a little play area stuff.
We'll throw in a fake kitchen for fun.
We'll throw in a fake kitchen, and if you open the oven, there's books on beef.
There's books on trees. The books on the ovens are in the trees, so therefore the books on the trees.
Trees are in the oven. Thank you. Thank you for fixing my joke for me. That's such a good callback. And that'll be our final image. That's where you go. And that's the end of the Crispy Quest, is finding the books on trees. And because you have to have already done the owl quest. And it really sucks when you're an adult who's just into...
Sometimes it's a multi-day thing. You have to come back and be like, hey, I was at this station. Like, okay, well...
Yeah, because Kevin was off sick for his fucking trip to Yosemite.
Wow.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Clatfartburg. I hope you go to your local library and check out a book, because it's great. What a great resource if you have them.
Yes. Talk about a third space. those are still in existence at the library.
There's just one, and it's the library.
It's that they're it, basically. So go enjoy it while you can.
Enjoy it while you can. Well, yeah, thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Clatfartburg. If you want more content from us, you can hop over to clatfartburg.com and join a little membership there. You can give us suggestions and all that stuff. You can also just send suggestions or email. You don't have to be a member to do it, but we will gladly take it if you want it. We put out bonus content on there. We do our commentary tracks, one commentary track a month and one bonus episode a month. What just came out should be the bonus episode of the kind of extended what happens to the botanical gardens as it closed. We go into the documentary production that exposes their lies. We find out the name of Herbert's son, which is crazy. One of the worst names I've ever heard in my life. Thanks, Elaine. And really get into Henry Pissdog's origin. Not really his origin, just kind of how he exists there. We know his owner's name now, too. Also quite bad. So it's a really good episode, though, and I think it fills in a lot of details. So if you want to go and check that out, you can go over there. You can also get that episode a la carte if you want. They're just on the extras tab as well.
If you feel like being goofy, we think it'd be hilarious if you went over to Apple Podcasts and we will read out 5-star reviews that review this podcast as though it is actually the town and you visited a part of the town that you enjoyed and you write it like a TripAdvisor review. We would think that'd be very hilarious. And we laugh in the face of Apple. So if you want to do that, we'll read it out on the podcast. So, yes, only reading out 5-star reviews. But if you feel that fancy, do that. And then just separately, the best way to spread the word about Clatfartburg and to get more visitors is if you share it with somebody.
Tell your friends. So you're like, be our tourism department.
Let us be the litmus test to see if someone's chill.
I don't know if that's
you know what I mean? Like, if they're your kind of weird, we can be the test.
This
could be that thing where you no, we should not be the first thing you share. Hold on. Well, let's keep your friends. Okay,
clear.
Look, we're limited third spaces and friends are hard. You've got a friend, right? You've been thinking about it for a bit. Choose. I think this was a tamer one for us, honestly.
Maybe,
but, definitely choose.
But
I
do think it requires a little prerequisite knowledge because we did not explain Crispy whatsoever.
No, actually, maybe just you could
start on episode 1.
Start episode 1 and just be like, hey, there's this really goofy, weird, strange, bizarre, yet charming podcast I found.
Separate yourself from it.
But, like, what do you think about this? And then just see what happens. Like, we're happy to do that for you.
Yeah. Like, it's a service we're providing. We're happy for you to share our podcast with someone else.
You're welcome, you know.
We're doing you a favor, actually.
Oh, my God.
Well, thank you, everybody, for visiting Clatfartburg. And I hope you read a lot of good books, because Jim Parsons wants you to do it. He'll be sad if you don't.
Just go read, guys. I don't know how to do a Jim Parsons voice.
Yeah, it's me, Guy Fieri, and I concur.
Flee the town.
Bye.
Bye.